You know why boxing fans are not talking about Elijah Garcia? You know why boxing fans here in this space is not creating content on Elijah Garcia? It's because he got beat again. Elijah Garcia got beat by Kevin Newman. And that fight was a really good fight. It was one of the best fights on the Sebastian Fedor-Keith Thurman card. It was literally the best fight out of that whole entire event. And not a lot of people are covering that fight. But I guarantee you, if Elijah Garcia would have beaten Kevin Newman, boxing fans here in this space would have jumped right back on the hype train. You see, a lot of boxing fans jumped off Elijah Garcia's train when he got beat by Kyron Davis some years ago. Boxing fans were very disappointed. They were angry. They felt that the PBC betrayed Elijah Garcia because they matched him up with someone who was tough. Kyron Davis was the same fighter that David Benavidez stopped in the 7th round. Kyron Davis was never knocked down. He was never knocked out. He was stopped on his feet. And a lot of boxing fans here in this space figured since David Benavidez stopped Kyron Davis, then this young, hungry lion, Elijah Garcia, was going to do him even worse. And Kyron Davis ended up beating Elijah Garcia. Now, Kyron Davis, if you guys don't know, was a fighter that had to jump up 2 weight classes to fight David Benavidez. He fought David Benavidez on a short week's notice. He was actually a junior middleweight before he got that phone call to fight David Benavidez on short week's notice. So he jumped up 2 weight classes and fought David Benavidez and did pretty good. So before that fight happened between Kyron Davis and Elijah Garcia, I was thinking to myself, Elijah Garcia may end up losing this fight because Kyron Davis has some experience and he's been in there with way better opposition than that version of an Elijah Garcia. And I'm talking about the undefeated Elijah Garcia. And Kyron Davis ended up beating him. And boxing fans jumped right off his train. They kicked him to the curb. But when Elijah Garcia got a win under his belt after losing to Kyron Davis, then you start to see all these fans jumping right back on his train, calling him the next great Mexican fighter. You know, he became this hot topic the moment he got a win under his belt after coming off a loss to Kyron Davis. So fans were talking about Elijah Garcia. And then he ends up getting beat by Kevin Newman. And you don't see anyone giving praise to Kevin Newman. You don't see it nowhere. You don't see people talking about that. That was one of the best fights, if not the best fight out of that whole entire event. And nobody's talking, not even the anti-black boxing community. And you know why they're not talking about that fight particularly? It's because they have to give credit to Kevin Newman. But they don't want to. So that's why they're not talking about that particular fight. This is one of the many problems with the sport of boxing. One being the anti-black boxing community. But boxing fans not paying attention to the 2nd and 3rd tier fighters is one of the many problems. Because these fighters that don't get the recognition that they deserve are good fighters. Yes, they may have losses. And no, they may not have a belt. But it doesn't mean that they're not good fighters. Kevin Newman just proved that he's one of the best fighters at the super middleweight division. Kevin Newman was not the favorite to beat Elijah Garcia. I don't think he was supposed to win that fight. I think a lot of people were picking Elijah Garcia to win that fight. I think a lot of people were hoping that Elijah Garcia won that fight so they can continue on with building Elijah Garcia. But Kevin Newman proved that he belongs in the conversation. But he's not going to get the acknowledgement because of what? He's a black man. This is why you don't see boxing fans here in this space talking about Kevin Newman beating Elijah Garcia. And don't sit up here and act like Elijah Garcia is unknown. He's known. The boxing community know Elijah Garcia because they were hyping him up before he lost to Kyron Davis. So they know who Elijah Garcia is. He's on the same level as your Diego Pacheco. Before Elijah Garcia lost to Kyron Davis, they were talking about a potential showdown between Elijah Garcia and Diego Pacheco. Those two were linked together. Both of these fighters, Diego Pacheco and Elijah Garcia, were being compared to each other because they were prospects at the same time. Some thought that Elijah Garcia was going to have a brighter future because of his style. He was aggressive. He had a lot of knockouts. And so boxing fans know who Elijah Garcia is. They just don't talk about him because they don't want to have to acknowledge who beat him. Kevin Newman just beat Elijah Garcia, and it's very disgusting how boxing fans is not giving him an ounce of credit. They're not even talking about his win over Elijah Garcia. You see, Kevin Newman's trainer is Roy Jones Jr. Roy Jones Jr. went viral because of his instructions that he gave to Kevin Newman in the corner. So boxing fans saw that whole entire fight and saw, why Roy Jones's instructions went viral. They saw all of that, but they chose not to talk about that particular fight, and that's because they don't want to have to acknowledge Kevin Newman because he's a black fighter. He's a black fighter that no one's ever heard of. But imagine if the roles were reversed. If Kevin Newman was the promise fighter, the hype fighter, and wind up getting beat by Elijah Garcia, who's an unknown fighter, not even talked about, not even cared about, you better believe that these boxing channels will be covering that fight if the roles were reversed. Just like when Rashidi Ellis lost to Roman Villa. Do you guys remember that? How a lot of these boxing fans all of a sudden became fans of Roman Villa when he beat Rashidi Ellis. It's nasty work, people.